Hey, it's Irina, and we need to talk. Because if one more person tells me they're not landing interviews because the market is just so tough right now, I'm going to have to stop them right there because I keep hearing this. And I need to address this because this is a limiting belief that's going to continue to get you stuck. And I'm going to break down exactly why in today's episode. And if it was because of the market, no one would be getting hired. But right now, the truth is someone just accepted the offer for the role that you applied for. And that continues to happen. So I want to look at what you can control so that things can change. Today is episode 2 in this series about what is really keeping you from getting hired. And today is all about the job search in terms of the market. Is it really that bad or is it your strategy? Also, before we dive in, I just held an incredible masterclass. It was brand new. I held it live last week and it was amazing. The feedback that's pouring in is just incredible. And if you did not have the opportunity to attend, or maybe you didn't stay until the very end, that is totally okay because I just linked to the replay for the next couple of days in the show notes so you can swipe up and watch it. So this is specifically for HR professionals looking to land their roles by the end of the year. So you already know September right now is a huge opportunity to land your next role. Every September, there is a huge hiring opportunity. There are going to be more roles posted, and the people that start getting interviews in September are going to be the ones that are hired before year end and before the holiday shutdown. So this is a really great opportunity to get hired before 2026 and before the year is up. Swipe up. The replay is in the show notes. It'll be available for the next couple days. And make sure you stay until the 60-minute mark because I made a really big announcement at the masterclass as well, which is that I opened bonus enrollment into my signature HR Star coaching program, which is the one, like if you've been listening along lately to the last 8 episodes, I have had some recent clients that have landed their dream roles come on, and I did a series where they shared the behind the scenes of what it's like to be inside of HR Star. But they're also spilling the tea on exactly what it's like to land your dream role, the steps that they took, what worked, what didn't, so that you can also have hope and inspiration and also be able to do the same thing in the next couple months, because I don't want you to miss this opportunity in September to get hired in 2025, if that was part of your plan. Also, right now, bonus enrollment inside of HR Star is always the best time to join. This is the last time I'm offering it this year. And I'm not sure when it'll be back, but during bonus enrollment, you get a ton of one-on-one bonuses to make you go even faster in your job search. So you get everything inside of HR Star, but you also get one-on-one bonuses like the resume transformation you've heard a ton about. I write your pitch for you, as well as your LinkedIn audit. So I'm including a ton of freebies that are worth over $3,000, and they're available literally right now for the next couple of days. So swipe up. I also created a link below so you can see all the details about joining HR Star. If it sounds like the right next step for you, then I can't wait to support you. Hey, it's Irina Pozan, and welcome back to the Career Cravings Podcast. This podcast has a simple mission. It's to help ambitious professionals like you build the career and life that you've been craving. Over the past 15 years, I've worked as an HR leader, designed hiring systems, led recruitment teams, and I've sat on the other side of the hiring table. I've seen what works in today's job market, what doesn't, and what separates those good candidates from the ones that actually land their dream roles. Now I'm bringing everything I've learned straight to you. Each episode is packed with actionable insights and tools to help you land your dream role sooner. Now let's dive in. Okay, we're going to cover more myths. So in last week's episode, I covered one of the top myths that has kept me stuck before, keeps many of my clients stuck as well. And today we're getting into 3 more. So these are the things that will keep you from not getting hired this year. So I want to break them down. They're a little bit spicy, but you already know sometimes that's what it takes to shift a perspective, right? Okay. So the first myth and the biggest one is the market's just too tough right now. So let me know if this is something that's in the back of your mind, if it's something that you think. And the truth is that the market has shifted over the last couple of years, but it's not going to change anytime soon. This is Like eventually there will be another upswing, just like we saw in 2022, where literally anyone with a heartbeat could get hired. That of course changed in 23, 24. That's what we're seeing now. But this is the average state of the market and how it's going to remain because of AI and because of the economy right now. So things are not going to shift. So if you're waiting for things to shift, you may be waiting another 5 years. Now, the key really is not to focus on things you can't control, because the truth is you can't control the market. It really doesn't matter, right? Focusing on things you can't control are completely pointless. Even though things may be true, there are multiple truths at the same time. So for example, yes, the market is harder than it was maybe 2 years ago when you last looked for work, but it's time to adapt. If your goal is to land a role this year, you have to adapt to what's working today, because the same strategies that worked previously, even 5 years from now, are not working today. The whole world has changed. Look at what AI has done to so many industries, including hiring. So if you're trying to do things, it's sort of like, people that are not embracing AI today. Okay, that's all well and good, but how long is that going to work for you? You can't avoid it in every element of your life. It's not even possible to avoid it in your job search. The silver lining that I want you to focus on is that every single minute someone's getting hired for your dream role, and that could be you. They are not better than you. They don't have anything special. They're not some special unicorn. They know the strategy to be able to get noticed in this market. And that's exactly what I teach inside of HR Star. So if you haven't yet, go back to the episodes recently that I filmed with Shrey. Like if you listen to that one, you already know Shrey literally went from being a manual laborer earning minimum wage. And a week later, he got a role for an HR director, a role that's so beyond his wildest dreams. Like we were both in shock on that episode when we were celebrating, because he was actually targeting mid-level role and ended up getting a much more senior role with the right strategy. Previously to HR Star, that was only 60 days working together. Previously to that, he couldn't even land interviews for business partner type roles, right? He was landing interviews for contract, less desirable roles, and everything changes with the right strategy. I want you not to focus on how challenging the market is, because any time in our life when we focus on negativity, more negativity brews. And I'll give you a random example. I know in the last 2 episodes ago now, I was just sharing my own goals and how I'm progressing towards my goals for 2025. And one of the areas I'm not happy with is my weight, to be honest, right now. And health has been something that, unfortunately, even though I'm working out every day, I haven't been eating as clean as I always do and know that I should. I got into these patterns where I'm just eating whatever my son is eating, which is definitely not the way I like to live my life. So anyway, I've taken the steps over the last couple of weeks to change this, and it'll be, come winter time, we're heading into fall, come winter, it's going to be back on track, and I'm going to be super happy with this. But right now, if every morning I woke up and focused on the fact that I'm not where I want to be with my weight, it would be very concerning because I would live a very negative life. I would focus in on the gap and focus in on things I can't change, which is the past. I can't change the past of, let's say, my eating habits over the last 4 months, but I can change what I do today. Right? And I can take action based on where I am right now. So there's no point of me focusing on the negativity. Now, of course, sometimes there needs to be a breakthrough for change to happen, right? And if you have been trying in this market on your own, trying to DIY it, you already know I call that the Frankenstein strategy. You're trying to piece it all together, not even knowing where you're going wrong, not knowing why your resume is not working, not knowing why you're not landing interviews, even though you know you're qualified. If that's the case, then don't continue to do what you're doing. That will not work in this market. You have already tried it, whether you've tried for 2 months, 3 months, 6 months, or maybe you're like Mayuri, who was recently on the podcast too. She shared she couldn't get an interview for a year and a half. Now she's in her dream role. And it took her 60 days as well. So much can change in this market. And if you listened to Kayla's episode a couple weeks ago, it was amazing. I mean, she was going for entry-level roles. She's been out of HR for a while. It wasn't simple. Entry level is very saturated today. And she ended up landing 2 offers in 30 days. with the right strategy. And she did not join. I just want to be clear. No one ever joins my programs because they're doing amazing in their job search because they're landing too many interviews, right? So it's like you have to look at what can you control to change? And if you're ready to make a change, then I would love to support you if it sounds aligned inside of HR Star, if you know you need to do something different, because the market isn't changing right now. And you can either put your career aspirations on hold and continue to wait and hope that something happens, but you may miss out on landing a role this year because, again, the people that are landing interviews in September are the ones that will be hired this year. Let's walk through that. You need a resume that's working for you in September because after Labor Day, what happens is a lot of organizations start prioritizing hiring. There may have been roles that have been open for some time and they're like, okay, we need to close this requisition before we lose the headcount before year end. And what happens is people come back to work, maybe like you, super motivated in the fall. A lot of people took time off through the summer, a lot of the decision makers. They also know people are traveling, so the quality of candidates is often lower in the summer. September comes and people are more motivated to close those roles. And if you're not one of those people that are having the resume that's already being noticed by them, what will happen is they will go ahead and interview the people they see in September. Maybe in early October, they're going to go into second rounds. By late October, they're going into late rounds. And then guess what? Like we're wrapping up hiring in December, right? So those offers will be going out October, November. And that's often how the cycle works. You won't see a ton of new opportunities come up closer to year end, like November, right? There will be less roles. Right now, there's a huge opportunity. And if you want to take advantage of that and be hired in the next couple weeks, freaking amazing. You already know what to do. So if it was truly the market and it was impossible, you wouldn't see everyone landing roles around you. I'm sure every time you log into LinkedIn, you see another celebration. Someone else is clapping and celebrating for someone who just landed a role. And I want you to know that it's not the market, it's the strategy, and that can be you as well. That's exactly why I did that series inviting so many recent clients on, because that's what you can control. You can control your strategy. But if you focus on the lack inside the economy, that is just something that will not be of benefit to you, right? So stop blaming the market when it's your method, because waiting is going to keep you stuck. It may be keeping you broke. Like, let's look at Shrey. He was literally in a minimum wage job, and now he's in a high six-figure role. So what does that mean? He wasted, let's say, like $100,000 waiting to be in the right role. He invested a very small amount of money in comparison to his ROI. It was just wild, right? It's like, what, 35 times? So that's the first one. That's the myth that I really want you to hear. It's not the market, it's your method. And also, you can change that, which is incredible news. And you could be the one celebrating this year landing that role as well. Okay, let's move to the second myth. Now, the second myth is all about volume. This is something else I always hear from people that are in my DMs, and maybe it was you too. And when I ask, like, how long have you been applying? And they say, I just haven't been consistent enough. If I keep applying, something will eventually land. Yikes. That something will mean that, like, if you're not hearing back from the right roles, are you okay to just accept something? Like, something will eventually come. Yeah, you might hear from like a contract role that's not as senior as you want, maybe not as flexible as you want, maybe not at a great organization like you want. Let's be honest, like, is that really where you want your career to go? Is that how you want to spend your next 5 years with whatever that something is that comes? It is possible to have options in this market, and you are in control of that. If you're someone who is just like, I need to do more, it is my fault. I need to keep applying more. I need to be more consistent with my applications and something will come. I just need to do more and more and more and more and more of what I've been doing. Now, I want to go through a real diagnostic with you. And I want you to write this down. Like, how many roles have you applied to recently? And how many offers did you get? Maybe you got one offer, maybe you got none. Think about, have you applied to 20 roles, 30, 40, 50, 100? And what was the result? And the truth is, you will continue to get the exact same result with the same strategy, because nothing just changes by accident, right? So if you keep applying, you will continue to get the same results. So what I want to say is, say you've applied to 100 roles right now. Nice round number. And the next 100 are going to go the exact same way unless you make a change. Now, when you don't know what in your strategy exactly isn't working, it's going to be impossible to fix that as well. And it may not be fixed in the time that you want, especially because I speak to so many people that I'm like, when do you want to land your next role? And they're like, this year. Like, I'd love to start in January in a new role or before that. Okay, amazing. Then what you know for sure is you need to be interviewing consistently now in a way that's getting you invited to the next stage. And then you need to generate options for yourself, multiple interviews. And then those interviews have to be going well as well to be landing those offers, and maybe even multiple offers like so many of my clients have recently received as well. So what happens is when you take and apply to 100 roles, how much time did that take you? I want you to evaluate that as well, right? Because if you apply to 100 roles with very little response from the companies you're actually looking to work at, where will that land you in the next 3 months? Or let's say you've applied for 4 months. The next 4 months of your life will continue to look the same unless you make a change, right? If I keep applying, something will land. Now, that's really nice wishful thinking, but I want you to be in the control of your career. I want you to know that you are using a strategy that is working and that will get you hired, right? If you keep tweaking your resume over and over and just hoping something is going to finally work, but you're not sure what it was in the first place that will be helpful or not, you have already done the best that you could. Like, I know that you would never be applying to 100 roles with a strategy that you didn't already think was the best, because that would just be a total waste of time, right? You are already doing your best. And if that isn't landing you interviews, amazing. Now you know that is data. That is time to change your strategy. So this myth, this one keeps people stuck the longest because they're just in a loop, like need to keep applying. Nothing's working. Oh, it's the market. But it's not. What really needs to change is the messaging, the positioning, the strategy, the visibility to land offers in today's market. And things are different, but they're not changing anytime soon. So the belief is more effort equals more results. And that's false. It's not effort. So no, it's not more effort will land more interviews. No, the right strategy will. It's not effort. It's alignment. I have many clients that literally apply much less than they ever did before. They're not changing their resumes at all once we create the resume that's aligned to their opportunity, that's custom to the type of role they're looking for, that's custom to what makes them stand out in this market. It's not more effort. It becomes easier. It saves time. And then they actually start hearing back from those opportunities that they've been waiting for months, sometimes years. So let me say this super clearly. I know it sounds a little tough, but you're not saving money by not investing in support. It's actually what's keeping you broke. It's what's keeping you stuck. It's what's keeping you in the role that you don't want to be in anymore. It's keeping you unemployed, possibly. And that's not what I want. So I want you to hear this loud and clear. Okay, we're moving to the third myth. And the third one is there's something wrong with me, such as I'm too old, I'm too young, I have a gap, I'm from a different country, my English isn't so great, whatever that is for you. And that explains why I don't get any results. Now, I'm sure you heard on this podcast, many people from all walks of life, from people that just learned English recently and landed dream roles, that moved countries, that started over without actually starting over. Like Shrey's first job in Canada is literally a director role, unheard of, amazing, fantastic, but he couldn't even land entry-level roles previously or mid-level roles previously on his own, right? He tried for over a year. And this belief is one of the most expensive beliefs that we carry. So let's look at Jo. She recently was on the podcast too, so you can go back and listen to her story. But she finally started breaking through to the interviews she wanted. And then when she did, they were throwing money at her. They literally offered her like $50K more than they ever thought. And they said, what will it take to get you to come on board? And then she got everything she wanted, right? Here's what I want you to know. There is nothing wrong with you. I know it sounds kind of cheesy, but there isn't. And I haven't gone through your situation personally, or maybe I have. Maybe you're listening and you're a client. But for most of you listening, I haven't gone through your profile, but I can guarantee there's nothing wrong with you and you could land the role that you're looking for with the right strategy. And the reason I'm so confident in that is that I've seen people from every single walk of life. I've seen it all. So I do have clients that are 60 years old that they thought I'm too old. That's why I'm not landing roles. Then I have people that are too young. Like I remember one of my clients, Susie, she was like, I look really young. Like I sound really young. They're probably not going to hire me. We had a long talk about that. And we changed her mindset around that. Then I have other clients. Actually, just yesterday, I spoke to someone who she's like, I've had a gap for a year. Like, what do I do with this? Here's what I want you to know. Recruiters today have seen it all. Okay. They've seen gaps. They've seen people that are overqualified, underqualified. You are not unique in that way. Today, gaps are more normal than ever. There have been so many layoffs that have happened. And by the way, I have a whole podcast episode on like the gap and if you've been laid off, what to do. So please go to listen to that next if you haven't. But what I want you to know is recruiters, they come in, if they have already called you, they are interested in your profile. So it's not that you're too old or too young. They have already screened you in, right? So the beliefs you carry about your profile are really going to impact the way you show up in your search. So if you do believe you're too old or too young or your gap is too big or you don't speak English well enough, that will keep you stuck. The right role is out there for everyone, and it's a matter of having the right strategy to reach out and find it. Okay, so truthfully, I've seen it all. Those things should not keep you stuck, but that negative mindset will. What I want to say is we all have blind spots. We all have them. So I've never met someone that was like literally the perfect candidate in every single way. We all have a blind spot. And if you are the perfect candidate in every single way for one role, there's another stretch role for you, right? There's always the next level. We can always get better. So for me, when I previously was applying, education was one of it. At one point in my career, I didn't have my HR degree completed yet. I just had my certificate. And also I didn't have my designation yet. A lot of people think, oh, it's because I don't have the designation. And that's like absolutely not the case. The right role is out there for you. You just need to have the right strategy that gets you hired. So we all have blind spots. Maybe it's that you don't have a certain skill yet, a certain set of experiences yet. That is totally okay. I'll give you another example. I had this one client, Takunda, and she left me a beautiful Google review, by the way, if you want to go check it out. But I remember her coming to one of my calls. I always host a session called Blind Spots because I like to dig into everyone's blind spot, whether it's a gap, and then turn that around for them so that they have a powerful answer for how to speak to that point they're least confident about. And it changes everything. So she came on and she's like, oh my goodness. First of all, she was new to the country too, but she said, I don't have labor relations experience in this role I'm interviewing for. They want the LR experience and I just don't have it. And this happens all the time, right? So we've reframed it. We gave her a confident response. And guess what? She landed the role with the skill that she didn't have yet. And she's learning it now. She's in the role and she's thriving. She's doing amazing. So all to say, whatever it is for you, whether you don't have a certain skill, you have a huge gap, maybe you feel like you've worked at too many companies or you have too much experience or not enough, whatever it is, I've seen it all. Moving countries, right? Like my client Ayushi, she just moved countries. She ended up getting, like we created one resume for her in that new country. She got multiple offers within a month. Anything is possible when you have the right strategy in any market. And I truly, truly believe that. And it's just a matter of time when you have the right approach. So let's summarize these 3 myths. So the first one is the market is just too hard right now. And that's absolutely not the case. I hope you know that now. Second, if I just keep applying, something will eventually land. Well, no, more of the same will continue to get you the same, right? If your strategy doesn't change, how can you ever expect your results to change? And 3, maybe I'm too old, maybe I'm too young, whatever that blind spot is for you, focusing in on that is keeping you stuck as well. Yes, maybe you have a gap. Yes, maybe you're not finished your certifications yet or your education yet. Amazing. There's still a role out there for you. So these myths aren't just keeping you stuck. They're keeping you underpaid. They're keeping you busy and stressed out applying to all these roles and seeing rejection after rejection. They're keeping you undervalued and waiting on permission. And that isn't a great place to go into job search with. If this episode called you out, good, because it means we can fix it. And there is a solution. You already know the doors to my signature program, HR Star, are open right now, and you can swipe up and get all the details. Bonus enrollment is on. That's over $3,000 in one-on-one bonuses where we'll work a lot closer together and your results will go even faster. And the program is guaranteed. So I literally am so confident in the program. 98% of my clients land roles within 3 weeks to 3 months. I literally guarantee results. There is no downside. And if you missed all of the details and if you missed the free training that I just held last week, it's also in the show notes. So swipe up and watch it because this is the strategy that all of my clients use step by step to land their roles. And I do not want you to miss this opportunity as one of the biggest hiring seasons of the year and to go into 2026 feeling like you didn't achieve your career goal because you don't need more time. You need a better plan and I'm going to give it to you. All right. Until next time. In next week's episode, we're covering another big myth that I see in today's market. And this one will shift everything for you as well. It's a goodie. It's another spicy little episode. And I can't wait to see you there next week. Hey, before you go, if you've enjoyed listening to today's show, I would love your support. Please take a moment to leave a review anywhere where you listen to podcasts. And here's the exciting part. I'm running a special contest and giving away a one-on-one session with yours truly. All you have to do is leave a review, take a screenshot, and send it to me in my DMs. All of my contact info is in the show notes. I appreciate you so much, and I cannot wait to build the career and life that you've been craving together. See you next week.